Do you remember this show? I used to love this show. Andy Griffith's show. Seemingly when life made somewhat of sense, and I know life was never really like this all over the country. We're a country that's always had our problems. But a dad and his son going out to fish. Well, enjoy that while you can, because it looks like special interests once again are trumping common sense and the voice of the people. A new report out today says it's a move to appease the environmental groups, and just like before, without your consent, done in darkness by executive order. I told you a year ago this would happen. I'm not some prophet by any stretch of the imaginations. The New York Times said this man would do this. The report claims that Obama will no longer listen to the public as he tries to prohibit U.S. citizens from fishing on some of the nation's oceans, coastal areas, and Great Lakes, even some inland waters. No more fishing. Really? Yeah, apparently some environmentalists want to save the fish. Forget about the frickin' fish. People are losing their rights. Who's more important, the fish or you? Do you remember the song? I was talking about this in a meeting today, and one of the producers jokingly said, "This land is made for you and me." Remember that? This land is your land, this land is my land, and it all just clicked in my head. I said, look up the dates that this stupid song was written. We did. We did. You know, I've heard people say this before, and I never really paid attention to it. Listen to this. You know, this land is your land, this land is my land. Remember how happy that is? Let me show you the last couple of verses. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said, "No trespassing." Somebody owns that land. But on the other side it didn't say nothing. That's a double negative, so it must have said something, but I digress. That side was made for you and me. So in other words, there are no property rights. It's wrong to say no trespassing. Last stanza. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I seen my people. As they stood there hungry, I stood there asking, is this land still made for you and me? Originally written, what year? 1940. Gee, what was happening in America in 1940? Woody Guthrie wrote this. Woody Guthrie, communist. This song is about a progressive utopia, where there are no owners of anything. We all just share it. It's made for you. It's your land. It's my land. We all have it together. Some people have property now, and some people don't. We can all think of this song as an American song. Yes, it is. An American progressive song. I told you that Cass Sunstein was the most dangerous man in America. He's our regulatory czar. He's the guy who the behavioral economist, he's the guy that says he can get people to act in economically irrational ways by nudging them. Well, let me show you a headline today from the Wall Street Journal. Economic policy, nudge gives way to shove. The article is about how the sneaky incentives like cash for clunkers, they're not cutting it anymore. People aren't buying into it. So we need to do something else. We can't nudge them anymore. They've now decided to shove. Evidence, Obama is shoving the insurance companies. He wants to regulate insurance rates. He wants to prohibit commercial banks from owning or investing in private equity firms or hedge funds. He can't nudge them there, so he has to push, penalize, take away, shove, threaten. That's why the good Chairman Mao, who ironically so many of the people in the White House seem to love so much, says power comes from the barrel of a gun. We've seen it in history over and over again. Nudging doesn't work. So when that doesn't work, but you have to do the right thing for the people, what do? Well, shove. But sometimes shoving doesn't work. Sometimes there are people that just aren't intimidated. Well, that's where this guy's handy gun comes into play. It's great. You know, Woody Guthrie, Oh, he loved communism. This land is made for you and me.